Hello, Cherif Medawar here, and I'm doing this video to explain to you the Secured Fixed Income Fund and the opportunity to join if you want to invest in a passive way to receive very nice, reliable returns. The fund started in 2015, even though I had another fund in 2009. So we've been in the fund business for almost 12 years now. And I want to share with you the 5 Ps, which is the people, the projects that we do, the positioning we have in the market, the performance we've done through the years, and the profits that we distribute to the investors. Also, I want to talk to you about how to join, to participate in the fund, and how you can get started. So you can go to the website SFIFund.com, and this is a private real estate fund. It's used for purely real estate transactions. We don't do anything else, and we own a variety of properties and assets, from commercial real estate to residential real estate, from San Francisco, California to Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. And this is a sister fund and partner with MIGSIF Fund that was launched in 2009. So SFIFund was created in 2015 to meet the accredited investors' demand. And as set out by the SEC, SEC defines the accredited investors as those who have a net worth of $1 million or income of $200,000 if they're single, or $300,000 if they're a couple for the past 2 years. And they expect to do the same for the year that is the year they participate in the fund. And the fund is basically offering reliable, steady cash flow, good liquidity, no hassles, no fees. We charge no fees whatsoever, and there is no liability. Nobody can sue you being part of the fund. And even if the fund gets into any challenges with neighbors or something, when we do rehabs, it does not affect investors. So I want to start with the people because that's the most important thing. So I am the lead of the fund. I'm the founder. I make all the decisions. And I have an incredible group of people that have been with me over a decade. They're experienced, they're professionals. I have project managers that handle the day-to-day. These are experienced people that can expedite the permits, etc., with the cities. I have architects that are experienced, contractors, designers, structural engineers, and quite reliable brokers that we've dealt with over and over. And they're all experienced people, and we have a lot of support staff. Also, the properties, so talk about the projects. We buy, rehab, and sell luxury properties in San Francisco, California, mainly. And these basically, we take these nice homes, Presidio Heights, Pacific Heights, we add square footage, we maybe change the basement, etc. It costs us maybe $400 or $500 per square foot, but on the exit, it's about $1,500, if not $2,000 a square foot. So it's actually a very methodical way to do it over and over and over. We've done it. I've done it for over 20 years. I've done it with the fund for about 12 years, and we've been doing very well with that. We also buy, rehab, and hold commercial real estate, basically in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, because that's a US territory. And it's a very desirable location because that's where the cruise ships arrive. Even during COVID-19, we've done even very well. 2021 set records high. You can Google this for Puerto Rico. In its whole history, it did not have as much tourism as it had in 2021. So the area is unique, and it's the oldest historic zone under US flag. And having mixed-use buildings, you have the retail downstairs for long-term, and you have upstairs residential or commercial office, etc. And it's just very high demand. As I do this taping, we are running at 98% occupancy, very high rates, so we're doing very, very well. Also, we deal with single-tenant commercial properties when we have these big tenants that are national retailers, such as food retailers called QSRs, quick service restaurants. They usually lease with us 10 years, a triple net, meaning that they pay the lease net of tax, insurance, maintenance, and they give us a corporate guarantee. So those are very, very nice projects. And our goal, so you understand what the goal is with these projects, is to acquire residential and commercial properties in great neighborhoods, below market prices, to develop them and or reposition them wisely for maximum cash flow and or resale profits within a relatively short period of time. Now, when we rehab the properties in San Francisco, it takes from 12 to 24 months because these are like major rehabs and we increase the value tremendously. When we reposition properties in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, we have a time frame. We hold the properties from 1 year to 5 years. We always put the properties for sale, but at crazy prices in Old San Juan. And the idea is to create cash flow for the fund and big cash outs. So if anybody want to cash out of the fund, we can do it. Just examples of what we've done in San Francisco and we continue to do. 101 Maple Street, this was done a few years ago. I like to show this one because we bought it from the Dropbox family, the people that invented Dropbox. And it was 3.3 million. We rehabbed it for 3.6 and we sold it at a very good price. It took us a while longer to rehab it, but look at the end product. A trophy property in an incredible location, San Francisco. Also another one, 2312 Washington Street. This one we purchased it at 4.8 million from people that are movie stars. I don't want to say the name. We rehabbed it about 3 million. Total cost was a little less than 8 million. And then we sold it at about 9.950 to a very famous individual from Citigroup. He actually knows Warren Buffett, deals with Goldman Sachs, etc. So this is the type of properties. The end product was amazing. And by the way, I just saw that they sold it to somebody else at 11 million something a couple of years later. So everybody wins when you have the right products, the right market, etc. Also, I wanted to show you a little bit in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. I personally hold a portfolio of over $50 million. That's my own portfolio. And I've been there since the early 2000s because there are a lot of tax benefits in Puerto Rico. So even though we do these in California and other parts of the country, we're out the money legally through Puerto Rico, reduce the taxes. And what happened is, like, this is I have coached. They've been with me for 16 years there. They pay $30,000 a month, almost incredible cash flow building. So I decided to bring some opportunities for the real estate fund. We have this one, for example, 65 Fortaleza Street, Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's 12 luxury apartments, retailers downstairs, and that property cash flows very, very well. We took it, we rehabbed it, we improved it, and it's cash flowing for the fund. This one here, we bought it recently. Downstairs, we have Diamond International. It's a long-term retail tenant jewelry. They're the biggest diamond dealers in the Caribbean. And upstairs, we got the approval for 30-room hotel with some tax credit from the government because there is such shortage of hotel rooms in Puerto Rico. Just an amazing location. Here is another one where we have Guest Company downstairs, Guest Jeans. We have 5 apartments upstairs. So the portfolio is amazing. We also look for single tenant retail opportunities where we get the properties vacant. We line up these national tenants to sign up for a 10-year long lease with a corporate guarantee, triple net, like they pay for everything, and the property values increase. We turn around and sell them or refi. And these are very, very powerful properties. Now, what's the positioning we have? We are diversified. I believe in diversification. It's very important and powerful. And we diversify in 3 ways and in 3 areas. Number one, by type of assets. We do residential and we do commercial. And we do mixed use. We also like to diversify by location. We do the West Coast, mainly San Francisco and California. We look for deals in LA, but usually San Francisco, we have such a strong momentum and a team that have been with me for over a decade. And we also like to deal in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, because of all the reasons I gave earlier. We like to also diversify in the style of investing, buy, rehab, and sell, called flips. But these are higher flips, like we're talking 3 million to 10 million, and mixed use commercial that is actually buy, reposition, and hold. So when you look at it, the 3 ways to diversify: residential, luxury homes in San Francisco, California for flips, and large cash gains, creating liquidity in the fund. We also use commercial mixed use properties in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico for long-term holds, creating cash flow in the fund. This is US, remember, Puerto Rico is part of the US. And single tenant buildings, those we can do nationwide when we find opportunities. They're not as often, they're just rare, and because we're very picky on which ones to buy. And we'd like to lease them long-term with corporate guarantees, then we resell them for maximum profits. Just to give you an idea, as I tape this right now, these are the assets we're holding. We actually just sold 2531 Larkin Street, San Francisco. You can go on MIGSIF.com, which is the sister fund for SFIFund. Everything is joint venture between both funds, creating better liquidity and more power of assets for both funds. And 2412 Lake Street, this is right now on the market. By the way, Larkin sold 5.8 million, and it just an amazing property. And 2412 Lake Street is a property that we have it on the market at 3.5 million. This was a smaller deal. It was actually a quicker deal. 120 Brewster was a major development, really nice location with great views. 80 6th Avenue in San Francisco. That one is being developed right now. It should sell early 2023. 883 Carolina Street, a great project with views that are amazing. We took this property. We want to keep the historic facade. I got very excited about the project. 266 Pacheco Street, one of those rare opportunities where you have a property on a large lot and the city allowed us to split the lot. So it was a no-brainer. We had many people bidding against us, but we have such good reputation in San Francisco, been doing deals for so long. We're able to show that we can perform fast, we can get it done. So we win the bids and our brokers are very well connected. 2725 Broadway Street. This is on Billionaires Row. This is 34 homes of the wealthiest families in the United States, if not the world, that own properties there. The property, you bought it, it needs a total rehab. We bought it for $9 million after 2 days of bidding against others. And we got it, we locked in the deal. And that property, after rehab of 6-7 million, should sell at over $20 million. It actually, these type of properties on the Billionaires Row, which is Broadway Street, you know, you almost don't need to put them on the market because the billionaires that are around, I mean, Larry Ellison is across the street, who's the CEO of Oracle. You get referrals and that's how you sell these type of properties. 156 Liberty Street is an incredible project. This one, just Liberty Street alone, if you know San Francisco, has a lot of demand. This was another 2 bids of, they were bidding for 2 days and we got the bid again. So MIGSIF and SFIFund, we continue to win these bids and do some great projects in the city. We've done it for so many years. We have it down to a cookie cutter. And the assets in Puerto Rico, I can go on and on with these mixed use assets. You can go to CREPR.com, commercialrealestatepuertorico.com. We do sell some of them. Actually, we just sold 251 B Cristo, which was 2 residential apartments upstairs, 1 commercial tenant downstairs. We sold it and it just, we didn't want to sell it really. Excuse me, I put the price very high. This guy came in, fell in love with the building. Remember, Puerto Rico, you can Google this, excuse me, has amazing tax incentives. So what happens is you have all these billionaires moving to Puerto Rico. There's about 6,000 multimillionaires that moved there to actually reduce their taxes. They have tax incentives. You have to relocate there and live there. Sorry. I'm allergic to historic properties. No, I'm just kidding. So these historic properties are amazing properties. And you can go to the website, CREPR, you're going to see them. And this one here, for example, have commercial tenant downstairs, 3 commercial tenants. Upstairs has commercial space office. We have here jewelers. This is national tenants. We have this one, the 12 units I showed you. This one here, it used to be a Payless shoe store. We took it. We put 2 jewelry stores. We split it. This here has the guest company. This one here has a beautiful Airbnb upstairs. This one, 2 commercial. This one is a luxury property worth $5 million, free and clear in the fund. We have quite a few properties there, free and clear for the fund, cash flowing. This one here, for San Justo, has beautiful unobstructed views. So you can take a look at the inventory so you can understand what products we have, what projects, and why we're so different in this market, the way we do things. So how do we perform? How do we do it? I have something called the FACTS system. You know, I teach real estate. You can go on YouTube, put my name, Cherif Medawar, and you will see my systems. You will have over 2,000 videos of people that have taken my classes or invested with me, and they explain how they enjoyed it or how they benefited. It's 2,000 videos of success stories and trainings, etc., for free that you can benefit from to understand why I have a fund and how it helps me deploy my money, family money in the fund, as well as my investors and students. That's why we charge no fees. We just pay the investors, and I'll explain all this in a second. But the system I use is called the FACT system. I developed it in 2003, and the acronym FACTS are how to find the properties, which is finding the best projects based on location, price, condition, and potential, how we analyze the current market and the trends, how we control the offers by negotiating the right terms and price and doing it all by the proper contracts. And I have in-house attorneys and in-house CPAs. We time the due diligence of the projects, we close fast, we rehab diligently, and we do the right financing if we need financing, and then we sell or lease the properties based on what the project plan was. Then we strategize to rehab and sell the residential, or rehab and reposition the commercial to hold it. So let's talk about the profits now that I talked about: the people, the products, the positioning, the performance, the profits. You can go to SFIFund.com. You can actually click on the website. You will see our filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. We follow the rules of raising capital and deploying it. I've been teaching that since the mid-2000s, and I've been in the fund business for over a decade performing. So the offering, you will see an overview of the offering online, because this is public solicitations, and we'll be happy to explain to you details. I'll even give you an email here where you can reach me or my vice president. This is the SFI Fund is a California limited liability company. We have offices in California. We have offices in Florida, actually in downtown Orlando, and the main headquarters in Puerto Rico, because as I told you, we benefit from a lot of Puerto Rico advantages. And the SFI Fund is a debt offering, meaning you as an investor are able to put your money and receive the security of promissory notes and steady income for that. You have that cash flow that is paid out February 28th and August 31st. You accrue cash flow immediately. If you deposit your money on Monday, you start accruing the interest on Tuesday. And we have high liquidity. You don't have to wait 5 years or 7 years like other funds. We cash out people with a 12 months notice, and we usually cash out people within a few months. It's hassle-free. There is no day-to-day decision on your part. You can compound your return. You can even reinvest the money. And there is just no fees. We don't charge you acquisition fees, management fees, disposition fees. We don't charge any fees. It was set up originally for my students from my education company. I had many attorneys, investors, doctors that wanted to invest some steady income. I even have investors that invest in high tech, but they want something that is a little bit less volatile, that's steady, and that is less risky, etc. Now, there's always risk, but this fund has performed for over 12 years. And you are not tied to any one property. You invest in the fund, and we have all these assets. So you could see how we're able to pay, and we have liquidity and how we make it happen. The offering is structured to enable accredited investors to benefit in 3 ways. You can invest direct cash into the fund. Maybe you have some savings, maybe you have some high opportunities to access cash, like credit lines. I don't ever recommend for people to borrow to invest, but then you can understand if you have arbitrage, if you can borrow at 3 or 4% and get 8%, you're ahead of the game. Qualified retirement plans, we take self-directed IRA. We've dealt with many IRA companies. I mean, many of them have our private placement memorandum, which is the offering that we submit to people. That is the legal document we use to raise capital. We can also arrange for you, if you have a 1031 exchange, there are ways for you to, instead of rolling the money into another expensive property, you can actually get into the real estate fund and get steady income 6 or 8% without hassles. The offering is pretty simple. The objective is to buy residential commercial properties. That's what we've done for years. It's debt shares, so you have steady income. We are set up since 2009 in one fund, 2015. Both funds work together. And the end date is 2033. We have to always put an end date. We might extend it. We might actually close it at that time. And you have to be accredited. That means you have to have the high net worth. Minimum share is 25,000. So you can buy 1 share as the minimum, or you can buy 10 shares, 250,000. The key thing is if you buy 10 shares, you get 250,000, you get 8% simple interest. We pay you every 6 months. Okay. If you put 25,000 to 249,000, you get 6%. So instead of having money sitting in the bank account at 1%, or instead of buying a CD that pays you, and then you have a penalty when you cancel it, etc., you can invest, you can compound your money, you can grow. Actually, I wrote a blog that at 8% that you let it compound for 18, 19 years, your average return compounded will be about 20%. You can beat any people that tell you, okay, extend the market for 40 years to do dollar cost average in S&P 500, but at the end, you'll get 8% by reinvesting the dividend. Here, I'm showing you how you can reinvest the interest and compound it and make it happen. I have the ability to create exceptions to these payments, because sometimes people say, listen, I would like to put the money just for like 18 months. Would it be okay? Yes, we can make these exceptions coming in based on certain needs that you have. So get in touch with us. If you have an IRA account or something, we can work with you. We do the distributions on February 28th and August 31st. You accrue the interest immediately when you put the money. You are permitted to withdraw with a 12-month notice, simple notice that comes directly to us. There is no acquisition fee, no management fee, no disposition fee. And again, SFIFund is set up. We set up profitable joint venture opportunities with the funds, with MIGSIF. So I have both my funds working together, which gives you an added leverage, an added power, and more assets. And this way, you're able to benefit from the efforts of the SFIFund and the MIGSIF Fund. And actually, it's completely aligned. And the reason we launched the SFIFund after having MIGSIF Fund is MIGSIF Fund was based on private raising of capital. But then when Obama came, he created something called the Jobs Act and allowed people like me that have their own funds to publicly solicit. And he said you can publicly solicit and get accredited investors. In the MIGSIF Fund, if people are not accredited, that means they are sophisticated. They understand the world of business, but they don't have a net worth of 1 million. They don't have the income of 200,000 if they're single, or 300,000 if they're married. They can still invest with us, but then we got to get to know them. There is a period for knowing each other, etc., to follow the rules of the SEC. Then we can get you to join us at a later date. So to get started, just go on sfifund.com. You can click the Get Started and then start reading everything. Or better yet, just go to info@sfifund.com. Shoot us an email with your phone number. We'll get to you. We'll contact you right away, or CEO@sfifund.com, and we're more than happy to talk to you directly and make it happen. So this was the presentation for Secured Fixed Income Fund. We look for you to invest with us safely, with income and liquidity. And although there is always risk, we have actually managed risk and mitigated it very well through the years. And we have done very well over the past 12 years. And we hope to continue doing great with the inventory we have and the continued success that we share with everybody that is interested to continue with us. Thank you so much for your time and for your interest in what we have to offer. All the best to you.